This episode is brought to you by RTX at Home, September 15th through 25th. You can get more info at rtxevent.com. Do it.
Hello and welcome to the Death Battle cast. We are the cast and crew of Death Battle, specifically the most recent Death Battle that just aired, Flash versus Sonic, which is it's certainly an episode.
It is.
So I'm Ben, I'm the voice of Wiz. I'm joined by, over here, Liam, the writer for that episode.
Who has a better camera
a
now?
Camera that works, and you can see my face.
Look at that beautiful face.
Now
Legitimately
the downside is I look way pastier now because the light is actually good. Before it was so dim, I kind of was this orange, kind of darker quality to me. Now it's just like, nope.
Oh yeah,
he's a vampire. Pure fucking white. You can see through me if you look
look
close
great,
enough.
dude.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
You're not as pale as me. Like you can white balance on me. No,
That's Chad, by the way. Voice of
hi, I'm
Boomstick.
Chad. I play Boomstick. Luis, do your thing.
My thing.
I hate you.
Hey guys, I'm the lead animator for Death Battle, and I animated this fight.
Perfect. I love the fact that after last week's episode, or was it last week when you were on, Liam? Maybe week before. Whatever.
Yes,
last time
yes,
blends
you were.
together.
Yeah, and I was just like, I was like, he's on the show so much. I was like, can we buy him a fucking camera? I was like, 'cause he's using this shitty laptop camera, and now it's here, and it's like, there we go. So
And it's beautiful. So thank you guys for getting me that.
yeah, of course, dude. Thanks for all your hard work and for being on the show and answering all the questions that we're about to.
Yeah,
'cause
we got a
those
lot.
questions.
Your job is incoming, Liam.
How come my camera makes me look like yellow? I've tried so many different lighting situations to fix this, but I just keep looking yellow, which is weird.
Oh, I will
Anyway.
forever be red. I can't not. And like, man, Noel's talked about it too. He's just like, I hate color balancing you because you're
those-
always red. And I'm like,
Got those Irish jeans?
yeah, dude.
Yeah. You know, suntan
will-
would just burn.
Okay. So let's jump into what we're doing today, because there's a few different things. So first of all, Flash vs. Sonic just aired. If you have not seen it, we're going to spoil the shit out of it. You should go watch it. If you haven't seen it, please do that. But we do have, this is crazy, like 2 more death battles coming up and an RTX panel all within the next 2 weeks, which is
So
nuts. So yes, we are releasing essentially 3 death battles within 3 weeks if you count Flash versus Sonic. Next week will be, I believe it's next week, is going to be our panel at RTX. That's Thursday the 17th. So we will not be doing a typical Death Battle cast episode. Instead, we will be doing the panel on the 17th. And on the same day, we release a bonus episode, the 7 Battle Royale. If you have not watched The Boys on Amazon Prime Video, first of all,
You need to.
like legitimately, it's an awesome show. Like that's not even me saying it because they're helping us with this episode. This episode is happening because Amazon reached out. But even without it, like I would be totally on board with doing it because The Boys is a really good show. Even if you were kind of like, and if you read the comics and you're kind of iffy about it, I still highly recommend checking out the show. It's different from the comics.
Oh, it's awesome. And like
they
I had
do
heard
an
people,
awesome job.
So like real talk, I had heard people talk about it, and I just had never gotten around to watching it. And then I knew we were going to do this episode, and so Ben tells me about it, and I was like, well, now I have to go watch it all before we do a script because like it's going to spoil it. So then I just like powered through it, and absolutely, oh my god, I love that show. And so now it's like extra cool that we got to do this episode because it's really, it's a really, really, really good show.
It's really cool. And even better, like, so this is a bonus episode. It's not interfering with our Death Battle schedule in any way because we are doing another episode literally the week after that, based on our, typical 2-week schedule. But we are getting to kind of do something very different with this bonus episode. It's going to have a little bit of a different format. It's a battle royale. And well, I don't want to get too into it because if you have seen the previews, you might have a little bit of a feeling about the direction that this is going to go that is different from the typical death battle. But it was very exciting to work on. I absolutely loved writing it. The animation team has been doing a kick-ass job. Luis is leading that animation as well. I'm super excited to share it with you guys. So that is debuting the same day as our panel on the 17th, and we'll be showing a little bit of that at the panel as well. But just a couple days later, we have another death battle airing, Winter Soldier versus Red Hood on the 20th, which is awesome. So this
And
is
live
going to
action.
be,
Yeah.
our second episode we've ever made with Ismahawk, the team who made the fight for Nightwing versus Daredevil, which was the first ever live action battle we ever did. And there's a lot of stories to talk about with this episode. I will mention, just because I'm sure some people are concerned. It was shot right before all the COVID stuff happened. Like literally, I wasn't able to go because the day before then, the company was like, "This COVID thing's getting a little serious. I don't know if we should send people, outside the state and whatnot." And I was like, "Oh, I really want to go, but that's probably smart." And then like a week or two later, it was like, "Oh, shut everything down. Everybody stay home."
Yeah.
So managed to get that filmed right in the nick of time. Danny, Jeremy, Melissa, and their team has been doing a fantastic job. I cannot wait.
They are so easy to work with. Like I love Ismahawk so much. Like, and they're. It's so funny because like I'll never forget that for like the first call we got on, and like Danny's just hyped. He's just like super excited, and it's just like, cool, we get to do this. Like, and he's, we got all these like great ideas. He's like, but I know it's like your show, so like if you want, it's like, dude, it's cool. Like it's they're awesome over there.
Yeah. So look forward to that in a week and a half ish. I don't know. We got so much stuff going on. I can't keep track of time. So yes, again, that is in order. The 7 Battle Royale is beginning on the 17th with our panel at RTX at Home, which RTX at Home, I believe it starts on the 15th. Yep. It's going from the 15th to the 25th with all sorts of panels and whatnot. So definitely check that out. And then on the 20th, for first members, Red Hood or Winter Soldier versus Red Hood will air on the 21st. It will air on YouTube.
I feel like we need a graphic for this. Like, it's like a map with like all the stuff that's happening.
It's gonna be a fun time. But it has definitely been kind of crazy balancing all these things, but they're looking really cool.
Speaking of crazy, Ben.
Yeah, we have a lot of questions.
That Flash versus Archie Sonic episode
quite mild.
Sure was crazy.
Yeah.
So
low-key episode.
One of our easiest fights.
kind of leading into this. I think last episode I mentioned that I was a little nervous about the Q&A, and it wasn't necessarily because I was nervous about our like verdict or whatever, but just because there's so much information about these characters and so much to talk about, and a lot of it can be spun into misinformation or interpreted in different ways. So the result of that is we have like 20 questions to go over. Honestly, the episode has been getting a pretty good response overall. I think we did a pretty good job overall.
It's nuts. It's like high 80s. Like that's all I was I wasn't expecting, super bad, but I was like, oh, this is bracing for impact. But I was
expecting it to be a controversial episode at least, because not necessarily because of one fan base is worse than the other, but because both characters just have so much, and it could be argued that one is more invincible and impossible than the other. There's so many ways to spin this fight. Like it would be very easy, I think, to just build. So spoilers, Flash wins. I think it would be very easy to turn it around and create an argument for Sonic that is difficult to counter. Like it's just that close.
It's a very close fight. It's the closest. Wow.
Yeah, it's really good that it was not only well received, but also ended up trending on YouTube. Like number one.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Thank you guys so much, because you guys watching this is what lets us keep making the show, and it's always insane to us how big the show has gotten, and the fact that we hit number 1 trending on YouTube is just ludicrous, and that is all thanks to you guys. So thank you guys for enjoying it and sharing it with your friends and showing it to people. It's just absolutely awesome.
Oh, forgot to mention, the panel on next Thursday, not this Thursday, September 17th, is at 3 p.m. Central Time.
So no Death Battle cast, not on Wednesday, noon Central, because that'll be something else for RTX at Home. Or Thursday at, you say 2 or 3?
3.
Great, 3 p.m. Central, Thursday.
I believe the Grim campaign is right before us that you're on, Chad.
Yeah.
So you can just tune in there, check out that with Chad, and then go right into the Death Battle panel. It'll be great.
Go watch Grim Campaign. Please go watch it. I love it.
Really
it's
fun.
super fun.
All right,
all right,
so
let's do this. We got a
just
lot
jump
to get
into
through.
it. Yeah, we'll try to be quick.
All right, cool. What happened at the end? How did Flash kill every Sonic in the multiverse? Isn't that way too much?
I specifically just wanted to touch on this pretty quick because I've seen a lot of people interpreting the end as Flash just destroying every Sonic, like Game Sonic, Fleetway Sonic, and like all these other Sonics in the universe or whatever, Sonic Boom Sonic. No, that wasn't the intent. I actually specifically said no to certain images of Sonic being put in because I was a little worried about that potential misinterpretation of the ending. And my chat just disappeared. I don't know what's going on. Okay. But what the intent was, and you can always take what you will from it, is the idea that Flash hits him so hard, Sonic lives his entire timeline all at once. So the images are based on Archie Sonic, not Game Sonic or anything like that. There might be one or two little fun things in there, like Sonic, which is whatever, a little fun, goofy thing. But the idea was to use the different art from the Archie Sonic comics because, as somebody who grew up with the Archie comics, the art has always been kind of a sticking point, I think, with a lot of people, like how it has changed over the years. Every comic has that, where the art will be wildly different between artists, but like it's really. There's something about Sonic's design that when you start changing art designs, it suddenly becomes an entirely different character.
I like how we got big barefoot Sonic in there as one of them.
So it's just a fun little thing. It's not meant to say like Flash can destroy every single Sonic in the multiverse with a single hit. That wasn't necessarily the intent. I mean, if you want to interpret it that way, I guess you can, but that wasn't the intent.
He punched him really fucking hard.
It's just something fun that I had to go through every single image to crop it out because they were all from comics. So that was
how many frames?
41 frames. Yeah, that number is stuck in my head for the rest of my life.
But you're
I
proud
remember
of
looking
it.
at that. I was like, did he have to cut it all out?
I specifically sent him 2 folders. I was like, here's a folder of images of like Sonics that I think would be great for it and people would like to see. Which includes like the goggle eye Sonic, and there's like one where he goes into a different universe and becomes like a detective for a whole story. It's weird. And then I was like, here's some other images that like if you have extra room, this is just like the extra stuff that you can add in. And it's like I intended, him to use maybe like 20, and he just used all of them.
It was all of them. I was like, oh please be enough.
On to the next one.
All right, next question. You gave Sonic super forms a time limit like the games, but I heard that Archie's Super Sonic can last as long as Sonic wants it to. Why did he run out of power? Out of super?
So, okay, I saw a lot of people talking about this, and it threw me off because that's definitely not how it works. It might be. I don't know where this idea came from. A lot of people think this is true, though. My assumption is maybe somebody wrote on a blog like Sonic can choose when to exit his super form, and then that got misinterpreted as he can just last as long as he wants. Because there are definitely occasions where he seems to just end it prematurely.
Happens to everybody sometimes.
Oh God. The primary examples I think would be his fight with Enerjack and his fight with Adam possessing Tommy Turtle. And in those fights in particular, though, the supersonic form lasts a very long time. We call out the Enerjack one in the episode as potentially lasting more than an hour, probably even more than that because they like fight from day to night. We don't know the exact time frame. We just know that it starts in the day, ends in the night. Why they last longer is kind of, I think, up for debate. It's not entirely clear, or at least it's not specifically said. I think it makes a lot of sense that it's based on the energy source, because when Ultrasonic appeared, the first time Ultrasonic appeared, it's mentioned that it's possible that he formed Ultrasonic with like 1,000 or several thousand rings, and so it lasts a good chunk of time. And then the next time we see Ultrasonic, he uses much less rings, and he's only able to get off one attack, and then it's over. So I think the power source matters. And when he was fighting Enerjack, he specifically uses the Master Emerald, which has the power of 11 chaos. It's literally 11 Chaos Emeralds fused into one. So almost twice as much as the usual number of emeralds he needs. And then when he was fighting Adam, in probably his longest fight in the series, he transformed using literally every Chaos Emerald in the entire fucking universe, which is hundreds of thousands, if not millions, in the Archie universe, or at least before they were all merged into one in the Special Zone and Feist became his thing.
Yeah, of course.
Like you do. Yeah.
So, yeah, I have a feeling that when he used those emeralds, he could probably go as long as he wanted. But there are multiple occasions, and the chat keeps disappearing on me, so unfortunately I can't see what you guys are saying. But there are multiple occasions where the time limit is it's not only there, it's a major factor.
Yeah.
First one would be not even the first one, just one that's about Sonic himself would be against Dark Gaia. We even show this in the episode. Mm-hmm. He just runs out of super and can't finish the fight. The end. Second major one would be in issue 126, I believe, when he's on Thoraxia after being somehow sent across 59,000 light years or whatever. This is where all the red Chaos Emeralds are in the universe. And for whatever reason, when he uses red Chaos Emeralds to turn Supersonic splits from his body and becomes angry, like very angry, and tries to kill him.
I hate it when that happens.
I think it's meant to be like a reference to the Fleetway comics where Supersonic turned him into like this angry, like violent psychopath.
Yeah.
So Sonic, the entire back half of that story is basically Sonic running away from Supersonic, trying to survive him. And he survives because Supersonic has a time limit. And there's even like a text box that says like, just like normal, it appears Supersonic on Red Emeralds has a time limit. Done. I mean, I feel like that's enough right there, but there's also Super Scourge.
Yep. Here's a quote from Sonic. Here's a quote from Sonic, him literally talking to Scourge, saying, "The super forms are the same. Yours may even last a little longer than mine would."
Yeah, but then it doesn't give him a power boost at the end. It has a power drain. Super Scourge, you might be like, who the fuck is that? Super Scourge is another Sonic from an alternate dimension. His real name is literally Evil Sonic. That's it. So Evil Sonic turns into Evil Supersonic, Super Scourge, and attacks Sonic. And Sonic literally, in order to beat him, he plans on the super form running out of time. That's how he beats him. And it's his entire plan to beat him. So, yeah. Yep. Next question, I guess.
Yep. All right, great.
I don't know. Do you have anything you want to add, Liam? I think that covers it.
It says it directly in the encyclopedia as well. It says...
Oh, I have that.
It says,
of course
these super forms increase the individual's innate talents while usually granting flight and vulnerability. The effects do not last forever, however.
Do not last forever, however. Yeah, great. Also, this is one of those fights. There are times Ben and I have joked about it forever. Like, there are times that like we'll be having a conversation and we'll be like saying shit so seriously.
Are you like a fan of Archie Sonic?
Maybe. I might have grown up with this comic. Yeah. I actually don't remember how I got a hold of this. I think it was at the office one day, and people were like, does anybody want this? I don't know what it is. And I was like, I know what that is. All right. But I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my chat because I can't look at it. It keeps
just refresh it
blank for some reason.
It did it to me too.
I'm going to open it up in a different browser, but go ahead and do the next question.
Oh, real quick. So I was about to say, this is one of those fights though, where it's just like the terminology that we just spout out with like a straight face. Yeah. That we don't even think about.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. He's like, when he's doing this, like, he's fighting Tommy Turtle, right? And like, whatever. It's just like, I love these moments in our show where we get to step back and we're like, God, we are talking about the dumbest shit, or like we are arguing the stupidest point. And this just feels like one of those, and it's so funny that that's the way our brains work now.
To Archie Sonic.
And you could literally throw in like a random word or name, and none of us would be able to tell if you were like making like,
Sonic Facts.
Yeah, the Garbloopians. Yeah.
When sure. Oh, of course. Wait, which issue was that? Yeah.
And the other of the Wolf Pack. He's a character.
Yeah. Oh, I know. That's the other thing too. Is like I want to use this point. The fact that Ben got excited when the encyclopedia was mentioned, got up, ran and went and got it. Like, guys, if you,
I totally forgot I had it. I could just.
I've
show
seen
that.
like, a bunch of comments that are just like, oh, they're so biased and blah blah blah, and it's just like Ben is the biggest fucking Sonic fanboy on this planet that I know of. Like,
old school Sonic fanboy.
Okay. See, he's even being hipster about it. All right.
The ultimate
Let's get
Sonic
to the next
fanboy.
question.
I know.
We got a lot to
I'm
do.
just saying, like, all right.
Let's get to the next one. We got a lot to do, and
Fine.
we're already 20 minutes in. But before we get to that, just a quick word from our sponsor, Lumen Skin. Look, here's the cold hard truth, guys. Your skin has needs. If you want to look as good as possible for as long as possible, you need to address them now. We get it. You might not know where to start. I definitely did not. But there's a company that's taken all the guesswork out of it for you, Lumen. Lumen is on a mission to help give men the amazing skin they deserve through high-quality, expert-created products delivered right to your door. All of their products are formulated specifically for men's skin and made to target skin issues with maximum efficacy, using top-notch ingredients like charcoal, green tea extract, and vitamin C. It's not just about looking good, though. It's also about feeling good. You need good skin health, especially as you get older, to prevent long-term damage. I mean, look, like I said, I didn't know where to start. This whole time, I've just been splashing water in my face. And I was like, that's probably fine, right? But no, that's just not good enough, especially, again, as you get older. So it's definitely worth looking into something like this. And Lumen Skin makes it so easy, because even if you have no idea where to begin, they make it easy to find the right skin management system for you. You can choose from different skin concerns to address, or just pick up a simple starter pack for free. Because you deserve to look and feel your best. And here's where you go to start. Go to lumenskin.com/cast to get a 1-month free trial of everything you need to start your skincare journey at home. That's lumenskin.com/cast to get your first month free. lumenskin.com/cast. Thank you so much, Lumen. Now, back to the Q&A.
Why couldn't Sonic use chaos for insight to foresee his own death and prevent it?
Really easy answer. He's only done this once. To call upon insight takes intense concentration, and he almost passed out from it. Yeah. Also, it was like super vague. He was like, I think he was looking for the crown of acorns. Where's the crown of acorns? And it was like, it is in limbo. And it was like, well, what the fuck is limbo? And it never told him. So no, I don't think it would really be useful at all. In fact, I think Sonic thinks it is a completely useless power because he's never done it again. The end. Next question.
Great. After Mogul absorbed Chaos Knuckles' energy, he had enough power to kill the gods and destroy entire universes in an instant, which means Chaos Knuckles could do that too. Shouldn't Super and Ultrasonic scale to them so they wouldn't even need Chaos Control to be considered universal?
The way you delivered that was...
I'm having fun. You should have me read the questions.
I mean, it is just a bunch of strange words when if you don't know what we're talking about. So there are going to be a couple answers in this Q&A that are just like, no, that's not how it happened. There seems to be some misinterpretation or misinformation spread around a lot with Archie Sonic, and I think a lot of it is because the Archie comics are kind of older than some of the people who are trying to like get involved in the discussion, and there a lot of people are using what other people have said, and you know, it goes through a lot of different channels and hearsay and whatnot, and then eventually people are just like, oh yeah, Knuckles could just destroy the universe or whatever. No. So what actually happened is, Knuckles becomes Chaos Knuckles because his father's a fucking asshole. Long story short. And then he's got the power of Enerjack, essentially. He's a living Chaos Emerald. This is like even before Shadow the Hedgehog in Sonic Adventure 2. And Mammoth Mogul uses a Chaos Siphon Room to absorb all of his power. But that's not where it stops. He's now Master Mogul, which has appeared previously, but he doesn't actually show up for like 40 or 50 comics until Knuckles comes back to life, and then Master Mogul off panel we don't even know that he's still alive, rips the Chaos Force out of the hole that Knuckles makes when he comes back to life. So Mogul is using the entire Chaos Force when he becomes his like universal Master Mogul, and he's like crushing universes in a single instant, or galaxies.
That famous panel that they show his hand like crushing.
Yeah, that is like the absolute power that you can get with the Chaos Force if you literally pull the entire Chaos Force into you. Like the whole multiverse was obliterated basically because there was no more Chaos Force. He had pulled it all to himself. He was obliterating each universe, blah, 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 blah. Sonic didn't stand a chance. Sonic failed miserably against him. Tails had to merge with every single Tails in the multiverse and become Titan Tails, which is the most horrifying thing in the world. We put that in the show. And then he got powers cosmic and reset the multiverse or whatever. A lot of steps had to happen, and there's no way that Super or Ultra Sonic could actually scale to that Mogul at all. Frankly, I think without Chaos Control, like Chaos Control aside, there's really no evidence that Super or Ultra Sonic could affect things on a universal scale just by themselves. Granted, once you bring in the Chaos Force, like things get even crazier. So let's move on.
All right, moving on. I just want to pull out call out a comment in the chat, which is like, I love that Liam's on, but Ben can answer every question.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I was like ready. I'm like, got my Flash knowledge.
All right,
we're coming to the Flash questions.
There's just a lot of Sonic in these questions. All right.
Yes.
Yeah. Why did you include Sonic being an embodiment of chaos as fact when it's just a statement? Is there any proof that fate actually bends to him?
Liam?
I'm putting lots of sass.
I mean...
real quick answer. It's because Mogul and Eggman came to it independently. Yeah. That's it. I actually don't think there's a lot of evidence, because Sonic still loses fights.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a very vague, nebulous concept that I think the community took, or a lot of people, like, again, like you said, kind of telephoned into being like, he can't be beaten, period. When it's not really the case. It's a more flexible concept than that.
It's actually really strange, because the first time I read it from Eggman, I thought it was just he had snapped, like mentally snapped at the time, and I thought it was just him making up an excuse for losing, because the thing leading up to it was he had won, he had destroyed Knothole, captured everybody except for Sonic and a couple others. And the only reason why he loses is because he like beats the fucking shit out of Sonic. He builds a robot that can actually like keep up with him and whatnot.
Yeah.
And the only reason why Sonic is able to win in the end is because Eggman specifically chooses not to kill Sonic. So like, was that fate choosing, to let him survive? It seems a little weird to just like put so much emphasis on this fate argument if that's what you're trying to use to as an answer to who would win or whatnot. So I didn't really want to have it be like a major, it was still a major factor, but it couldn't be the factor for either character winning, frankly.
Yeah. Same with Wally outrunning Black Flash.
Well, let's put fate aside and move on to reality. Sonic has the power to rewrite reality because he's the author of his own story. Why didn't you talk about that? He could just write Wally out of the death battle.
Oh,
you can do that?
Sonic is taking control of my body. I'm writing Wally out of my own episode.
So there's one story where he hands like a pen to the reader, and he's like, "You get to decide the story." Thing is, so it's a one-time gag story, obviously, and all the reader gets to do is write the dialogue. Technically, the story is already decided for you. You just get to choose the dialogue. All the actions are already there and drawn and whatnot. So that's it.
It's not full on Bugs Bunny, right?
No, it is not.
Early Sonic has a little bit of that, but that does get to the next question, which is just talking about
exactly. Force. Yeah, I was setting up the segue, Ben.
I already did for you.
Well, fine.
I'll just get to it.
I heard Sonic has Toon Force. Where was that in the fight?
Oh God, Liam, do you want to cover this one? You know this one.
I mean, do we want to mention the Genesis controller bit?
Sure. It almost was in the fight.
Yeah, it almost was in the fight. So there was a bit I was going to write in where it's taken from an actual comic where Sonic like tells the audience to like take control of your Genesis controller and control me in the comic. Really weird, but I was gonna have like a Genesis controller pop on screen and like the buttons being pressed by like the audience's hand or something as Sonic did that like the Strider Hiryu Ragnarok combo on Flash. There was a lot, so it didn't make the cut. But we wanted to kind of incorporate like that era of Sonic to like.
I was also a little concerned about the Toon Force becoming like a factor in the fight because that's not really how it worked in early. So the Toon Force thing is only really from early era Sonic, and it was more just like little gags here and there where Sonic would just turn to the audience and be like, "Wasn't that funny?" or whatnot.
Yeah, it's not Bugs Bunny ending the cartoon early, like which you can do, or becoming the animator. It's not that level of.
It's not that level, and a lot of the like more recent and more well known Toon Force like abilities or examples actually come from the Sonic Boom comic, which Archie did make. But that's a completely different Sonic. So we were very focused on that specific Archie Sonic. And technically, I guess you could bring Sonic Boom Sonic in as like, supporting evidence or whatnot. But if he's still using Toon Force and Archie Sonic, main Archie Sonic isn't, Prime Sonic is what he's called. Then it's not really a factor. That's it.
Moving on. Why did you downplay the quantum dial feat and Sonic surviving being blasted 849,000 light years away?
Because we hate Sonic.
Oh man, I hate this feat so much because it's so confusing. It's so strange. So if you just read it, and the way I read it, and I even talked about it on a Death Bell cast like 2 years ago or something like that. If you just read it straight, it looks like Sonic runs around the quantum dial, reverses the quantum dial, not the black hole, technically, although it doesn't really matter because they're infinite speed or whatnot. The quantum dial explodes and somehow rockets him almost like a million light years away. And he's like, fine. That makes no sense. There is no other feat that base Sonic has ever done that even comes close to that. And also, what is even sending him into space? Like, so our theory that we presented is that maybe you turn into a wormhole.
Yeah.
And some people critique that as like, well, you're just making it up. But to be frank, the idea that he's being launched into space also is kind of made up because nothing in the comic actually says that that's what happened.
No.
And in fact, the comic specifically says the black hole and everything around it is going to implode, not explode.
Which means getting sucked in.
Yeah. So there shouldn't be any sort of external force. That doesn't make a lot of sense. It's doubly weird because the black hole is a black hole is literally an implosion. Like that's what it is. So like what happens when you implode an implosion?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's not possible.
Negative.
The whole situation is just very strange, and there's nothing in the comic that actually even the only explanation we get is Nicole says everything around the quantum dial is going to implode, and then a text box says Sonic is now 849,000 light years away. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the only explanation we get.
We also did calculate it. If it was an explosion, like we did calculate that.
We did, but I do think our theory about the wormhole. So I didn't even think about this, but one of our researchers brought it up. Like, there's snow that survives the trip, and I know, like, I thought this whole time it was dust. Like, it looks like if you at first glance, it's just dust kicking up off of the ground when he hits the planet, right? But no, if you look closely, it's like on him. It's like curled around his shoe or his sock and like on his body and whatnot.
It's white,
and it's white, not gray. And the quantum dial was in snow. So like, it really looks like the snow came with him. Does that mean that Mobius's snow can survive being launched 849,000 light years? It's a weird thing.
Really powerful snow.
Ultimately, even if you look at it both ways, it doesn't compare to the Infinite Mass Punch or whatnot. But that was kind of our thought process there, and also the fact that he can get knocked out. Like again, Eggman was able to beat Sonic with a robot, and he's just got a big metal ball that he's smacking him around with. Does that mean that like? Are we supposed to scale Eggman's robot to Sonic being launched a million light years away? That seems like absurd, and that's getting into some territory that we just would start breaking the universe even more than it already is. So it's a weird feat, but that's basically our thought process with it.
And Flash has a bunch of different ways to kill Sonic, base Sonic. Like phase through him, cause him to blow up. Like that's a classic one. Phase through, like remove his organs, which he did to Amazo at one time. Like Flash doesn't need physical force to kill base Sonic. But he does have that as an option.
Okay, so I know, man, we are running out of time very quickly to do this, but I just wanted to real quick throw it over to Luis and say, like, for the animation, is there anything you wanted to talk about specifically?
Specifically, I think the thing that was the most fun about this fight is not only did we get to work with Sonic, which we're all fans of. Like me, Zack, and Gus were super excited to finally get to animate Sonic in a death battle. I think the closest thing I ever done is Amy versus DDD. So that was really fun to do, and to get to experience Archie Sonic and like actually deep dive into like the abilities he has was pretty crazy. So like at least from my side and from the animator side, we were all really excited to work with Sonic, even if he did end up losing the fight. But yeah, like the colorful backgrounds, the crazy ending, everything just kind of came together, and it was pretty trippy. It was really complicated to do too. So
great. All right, Ben. Here's how this is gonna go. This is speed round. Okay. We're gonna do quick answers. All right. What made you believe that Ultrasonic had all of Supersonic's powers?
Ultrasonic was really tricky to figure out because we don't really know all of. There's not a lot of examples of Ultrasonic doing stuff. But in issue 71, when he's running with the Super Emerald to counter the Time Beam, he goes to Supersonic form first and then Ultrasonic, and that kind of implies that like it's just an upgrade to Supersonic. Again, it is possible that wasn't the intent, but that is the best we can get with Ultrasonic, essentially, given the information we have.
Great.
Done.
Sega forbid Archie Sonic from ever losing. Is it literally illegal for Sonic to lose or be put down by a court-issued mandate? Doesn't this mean he should have won by default? It's the law.
So this is actually kind of true. Supposedly. I wasn't able to find like the legal document or anything, but supposedly, according to some authors, I don't want to get into the whole thing about the lawsuits and whatnot. Basically, Archie comics horribly mismanaged Archie Sonic comics, and all the authors ended up with the rights to the characters that they created. All of them, which is nuts. That's why the universe ended up having to be rebooted.
Penders.
Not just Penders.
I know. But that's like the biggest.
For some reason, he decided to sue EA for using sort of an homage to the Dark Legion, which he created. And that like was a terrible idea, I think. But it obviously didn't go anywhere. But then Sega got mad and was like, okay, everything needs to change. Sonic can't lose. But like can't lose. I don't know what the exact definition
doesn't apply
is
to a death battle. Like
yeah, and also like why would you apply that to a death battle? That applies to the stories that they're telling.
Yeah.
And I think the idea is that he can't lose, and that like if he were to lose a battle, he would have to become, do something heroic afterwards, so that it's not just a depressing story. I think that's the general idea.
Great.
But no, it doesn't apply to death battle, obviously, because that's like production stuff.
Yep. All right. If both Wally and Sonic have such similar speed, when Wally traveled forward in time at the end, why didn't Sonic just follow him?
They don't have that similar speeds. Wally's speed steal allowed him to constantly be faster than Super and Ultrasonic. They're infinite, like they're basically he could just, even though that they could restore the speed that he stole, they weren't taking it back from Wally. He can just continually steal from them, use them as a battery. Also, Wally did a lot of those immeasurable speed feats like in the 90s, like 20 years ago, and has actually gotten faster since then. So Wally is faster.
Great. Nope. Moving on.
Well,
Sonic...
real quick, I also want to say Sonic just doesn't have that power.
He can't
running.
He can't do that. He can't.
Okay.
And yeah,
Done. And he also doesn't have a preview into the future, whatever. When
yeah.
he
Wally
time
can
travels, he just
literally
goes
see
there. Wally
images
can.
in the future and like jump out and go, rah! Which he does all the time. Makes it
Next
sad.
question.
Exactly like that.
Let's do it.
Sonic
Speed
survived
round.
existence erasure from the Ultimate Annihilator in
Oh,
base
God.
form, so
No,
how could
he
Wally even hurt?
didn't.
This is a terrible question for the speed round.
Wrong.
I guess long story short is no, he didn't. The Ultimate Annihilator was only targeting Robotnik. It gets a little fuzzy because like Antoine and Bunny have shoved a nuke in the Ultimate Annihilator, and technically Robotnik and Sonic are like right underneath it as the Ultimate Annihilator is firing at them. And then all of Mobius gets obliterated for an instance, and then Sonic comes back, and for some reason he comes back by going through a ring, like a warp ring. And so at first I thought this was the billionth ring aura bringing him back, but no, the Ultimate Annihilator is just bringing him back. So why is there the ring? I think what the ring is actually doing is it's teleporting him away from the nuke or wherever. For some reason, he's being teleported away from the control room, because when he comes back, he's definitely not in the same location where he was fighting Robotnik.
Yeah.
So
and the encyclopedia literally states, Sonic and Mobius, meanwhile, only blipped out of existence for an instant before returning.
yes,
So-
so right here.
Yes, yes, right now.
That would be amazing.
So he did blip out of existence. He was erased briefly before it brought him back because it wasn't targeting him. It was targeting Robotnik.
Everyone was. Yeah.
Great.
Next.
Break. Art.
Oh, are we there?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, we have some art to show. So let's go ahead and get through that real quick. I just wanted to show off some of this art. Cody, if you can bring that up, because man,
Yo.
the artists came out for this, which is awesome.
Oh, that's great.
This is similar to a scene that happens in the
Don't mess with the Hogs
in the
dogs.
fight, and apparently KJ didn't actually know it was happening in the fight. So
What?
Really?
that's crazy.
What? Wait, he couldn't
It's
have guessed.
hilarious.
Did this person guess the line?
I guess so. I guess
line?
so.
That's impossible.
no.
There's no way.
There's no way.
Liam, are you an artist?
Or a prophet.
Yo.
Oh, this looks so
this
cool.
is great.
I love
yeah.
this one.
Super cool.
I love the style.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
this one,
Yeah.
super classic.
That's awesome.
I think this was the first one of the first ones that I saw, which is awesome, and I love the after image.
Do we like
effect
Wally
going on.
with
really
the hair
cool. Yeah.
out more than like the regular Flash outfit?
Absolutely,
I kinda do, yeah.
Absolutely,
Oh, wow.
Whoa,
cool.
I haven't
Almost
seen
like
this
a-
one.
almost like a thumbnail kind of thing, or,
Right.
or like a cool anime, shot, which is awesome. I love it.
That's great. Do we have any more? Oh, cool.
Yeah, we got a few more.
Damn.
Getting one with Ultrasonic because
They
of
both
course.
just look like
Ultrasonic.
super
I love
happy,
the
like we're
black
having a
stars.
fun old race as opposed to killing each other.
We're having a great old time, old sport.
Yeah.
Time to die.
And
So this
there
is
it is.
based on the final blow, which
Yes.
I love it so much.
we did not guess this.
Ethan
Yeah.
did such a fantastic job with this, and I think the next one is also from Ethan. He's
Oh,
been doing this
yeah.
for a while, for
Oh,
every
yeah.
single episode, and I always want to highlight it when I see it, but I also think
Spoilers.
like, oh no, if I highlight it, it spoils who wins.
Okay, I
So,
do the same thing.
I can't do
Whenever
anything
because he
with it.
tags me, and I'm always like, "Oh, that's really cool." I literally can't interact with it, or it will boost the spoiler for everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is great. Know that you are appreciated, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
But when I don't like it or retweet it, I can't because it'll spoil it for a bunch of people.
But if you keep going with it, I'm sure we will spread it around as soon as it's finished, the wrapped up season. So love it. All
Great.
right, we
Back
got
to
15
speed round
minutes.
because we don't
Let's
have a lot
go.
of time, and we still have to do community death battle. Why didn't you
Shit.
give Wally his Dr. Manhattan powers?
Liam.
Because they're clearly a one-time thing. It's not fucking Flash powers, and he just lost them. So, yeah, we guessed right.
Agreed. Why didn't you mention how Supersonic and Hyper Knuckles destroyed an entire universe just by clashing with each other?
It wasn't a real universe. It was a pocket dimension.
Yeah. So zones can be entire other dimensions, like Zonics or Evil Sonics, or just pocket zones. This is gonna answer several questions actually.
And just like places on the planet, like just areas.
Yeah.
It could be a bunch of different.
The zone that they specifically clash and destroy, as far as we can tell, it's just a room.
Yeah,
it's
just underground.
big ass room. So we don't even know if it's like a. Well, we do know that it's an alternate dimension, but it's definitely a pocket dimension. So we can't necessarily say that they just obliterate a whole universe. by running at each other. There's not enough evidence to support that.
Great. Nagas planned to replace all of reality with the Zone of Silence in order to increase his own power. Doesn't this mean that the Zone of Silence is infinite in scale, despite you saying it is a pocket dimension?
Oh! No. Okay. So the Zone of Silence is fucking weird. But basically, it's a zone that sort of eats other zones and sort of merges into them. But that doesn't necessarily mean the zone itself is a whole universe. That just means it can expand. And I believe Naga specifically mentions that it has the power to expand.
And in the encyclopedia, it is called a pocket dimension.
Yes. In the comics, it's called a pocket dimension. Like, they mention it multiple times.
Yeah.
Great. Couldn't Ultrasonic have eliminated Wally via battlefield removal by banishing him to the Zone of Silence? The Zone of Silence would have canceled the Speed Force because it removes all friction.
Whoa! I don't know if friction has to do anything to do with it, but Wally can just vibrate into different dimensions. He's been doing that since the 60s. And the effects of the Zone of Silence don't happen immediately. It takes a while. So he could just go, where am I? Fuck it. And then back to the fight.
That is my favorite answer so far of this whole thing.
Yeah. It also doesn't remove all friction. Like, people can survive in it. It just drives them mad. That's all, because they lose sound. But there were characters
silence.
that survived there were characters who survived the Zone of Silence without Nagas's protection before. So he'd be fine. He'd just jump out of it.
The King Acorn.
Sonic is an 11-dimensional character who destroys the Chaos Force and other extra-dimensional zones that make up the dimensional matrix of the Archie multiverse. So why didn't he just wish away the Speed Force?
He would have no way of knowing that to do that. And B, the Speed Force, we really don't have time to get into complex DC cosmology. But the long story short, the DC multiverse is actually way bigger than the Archie multiverse. The DC multiverse is in infinite universes and then infinite timelines based on those infinite universes that branch off into a metaverse that has an infinity of dimensions, of mathematical dimensions. And above all of that is the Speed Force. Archie Sonic's multiverse is just infinite universes. But it is much smaller. So even if he knew to target the Speed Force, there's no confirmation to be able to reach, his effects will be able to reach that far, because it's crazy.
Yeah, and I highly doubt he would be able to do it on his own anyway. So unlike the DC universe, the only real confirmed higher plane of existence is the Chaos Force. And it's this idea that there are 11-dimensional, there's an 11-dimensional matrix or whatever, comes from cherry picking a few lines from the comics of people just sort of saying technobabble to kind of explain things. Like this one specifically, this feat or whatever, 11-dimensional feat, comes from Sonic and Mega Man fighting Sigma, who was pulling energy from all the universes and whatnot. And one character talking to Silver is just like, oh no, he's going to destroy the dimensional matrix. And so if you say oh, the Sabrina the Teenage Witch universe and the Sonic Shuffle universe and all that are their own dimensions, they totally crossed over, then that means that there's 11 dimensions. There's a bunch of hoops that have to be jumped through in order to get to this, and it just doesn't hold up. The only higher plane that could possibly be affected by the Super Genesis wave and Sonic is the Chaos Force, and technically it supposedly does. Ian Flynn says that it is gone as of the reboot. That being said, I don't know if you can necessarily attribute that to Sonic. Flynn specifically says the Super Genesis wave erases it. And honestly, I'm of the opinion that we didn't really go into it in the episode, but I'm of the opinion that Sonic didn't actually reboot the whole universe himself. He used the Super Genesis wave because it was still going. It had erased everything and it was there. And he fires his Chaos Control into the Super Genesis wave, and that resets the universe. So, and I think it's a little bit of a stretch to say Sonic can just wish the multiverse, to just be however he wants it to be. Especially because he tries it again when he's fighting Sigma with Mega Man, and it completely fails. He's just unable to do it. And at first we were thinking well, is it because other universes are involved, because like Street Fighter is involved and whatnot. Like, it gets crazy. It was like, well, maybe there's just too much space. Like, he can't affect all of these multiverses or all of these universes that are coming into play. But like, no, that can't be the answer, because the Sonic multiverse itself is infinite. So space isn't a factor. The factor is there was no Super Genesis wave for him to use. So he needed that in order to affect the multiverse. And without it, it would just fail. So that is, I know that's going to be a sticking point, us saying that like, no, Sonic needed the Super Genesis wave in order to affect the multiverse. But I think it all points to that. And if for whatever reason he could just affect the multiverse on his own, why wasn't he able to do it against Sigma?
And we gave him the benefit of the doubt in the episode. Like, the point is that Flash has a ton of different ways to just avoid being affected by a chaos control. So whether or not it could be multiversal, it could be whatever it is, Flash can avoid it. So it doesn't matter how powerful the attack is if it can't like land.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That was a terrible and again, lightning round answer. Nope.
No, I want to clarify, because people are going to be like, oh, but the Master Emerald and the Chaos Force have done crazy things. And like, well, yeah, because they're the fucking Chaos Force and they're a higher plane of existence that can do all sorts of shit. Sonic is not the Chaos Force. Sonic is just a dude who can tap into it. Like, he's a very powerful dude, but he's still a dude. So he can't necessarily just possess all the power of the Chaos Force. Again,
Sonic's
going back to that universal
hog.
Mammoth Mogul question.
Dude, that was like, that right there, Ben, was like Bill and Ted making that argument. Like, he's a dude. And a most powerful dude.
Most powerful
but
dude.
not the Force itself. So,
all right, I think we have one more question.
Yes, one more. How could Sonic lose if he's an omnipotent being?
I guess I answered that.
You did.
He ain't.
He's not.
He ain't. And why would we ever have an omnipotent being on Death Battle? I think the problem is people think that being really, really powerful means you're omnipotent. No, that's not what omnipotent means. It means all powerful. You destroy a multiverse, therefore you're infinite, or therefore you're omnipotent. No, it just means you can destroy a multiverse. Omnipotent means you can do anything. It means there would be no conflict, there would be no story, because Sonic would just, like, the bad guy does the thing and Sonic goes, no, and then the story's over, the end. You can't struggle if you're omnipotent. There's no other omnipotent being. You can't have fights if you're omnipotent. Not because it'd be a make for a bad story, but because you literally can't. If you do, then you're not omnipotent. So he's not. He's just really powerful.
Yeah. So, okay. I know some people are going to look at individual answers that we give. Just to wrap this up, I know some people are going to look at individual answers that we give and be like, well, that doesn't make any sense. If you're just, let me just say this. Please don't pull an individual answer from this and be like, that is it. That is all that exists in that answer. Because we went through a ton of shit right there.
Yeah,
and a lot of it has to do with other answers. Because this is a very complex web of craziness. So if you're concerned about a single answer we gave, think about other answers that we also gave and how they relate to each other. That might clear things up. Community Death Battle!
You did it!
Let's go!
Wait, actually, real
Community
quick.
Death Battle. No, we'll get
What's
to that
going
later.
on?
Community Death Battle. Community Death Battle.
What's
The
going on?
community
I'm
death
sweaty.
battle, that's what's going on.
That little bit I did a little while ago got me sweaty.
But before that, did you know season 2 of The Boys is out now? It is. And if you haven't seen the first season of Amazon's original series, The Boys, you better get started because it's a wild ride and season 2 gets even crazier.
Fueled by revenge and licking their wounds from last season, the boys are back at trying to bring down the corrupt superhero team, the Seven. It's pretty cool, right, Chad?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you and I both absolutely love the show, and I'm super excited that we get to work on an episode. We'll tell you more about that in just a second. But first on the list is to expose Compound V in the ways Vought manipulates the media. Like, say, for instance, using V to create super terrorists in order to scare the public into giving the Seven more power.
And this new season isn't just action and intrigue. Season 2 goes even deeper into each of the characters, even the superheroes of the Seven and their vulnerabilities and humanity buried just beneath a corporate sheen. Something refreshing for the genre. Like, seriously, why don't more shows do stuff like this? It's really cool.
The idea that heroes aren't born, they're made, means something entirely different for both. The Seven need to face Compound V and what it means for them, and the boys need to face their tragedies and how it shaped them into the anti-heroes they are today.
Because we can all relate to underdogs taking on the establishment to change the status quo to create a better world. Like true superheroes should, right? So keep an eye out for a special episode of Death Battle featuring The Boys, and go to amazon.com/The Boys to watch The Boys Season 2 out now.
Seriously, go do it.
Yeah.
I really, really, really love the show. Ben does too. Everyone who I know that has watched the show has really
I watched
enjoyed
it when
it.
it came out. It was a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really don't want our episode of Death Battle to spoil anything for you because I want you to be able to enjoy it. So go watch it right now. I don't want to spoil it, so go do it. Go. Amazon.com/The Boys to watch The Boys Season 2 out now.
I'm going right now.
Thank you, Liam.
I
All right,
think
we're
we answered
here.
those questions. And,
We're here,
I
Ben.
was like, damn.
All right.
Community Death Battle.
All right. So the community death battle, this one's on you, Liam.
Oh, hell yes! I get to be here for this.
Scooby-Doo versus Courage the Cowardly Dog. As always, we leave it up to you guys to let us know who you think should win and why using hashtag DeathBattleCast on Twitter. Let's go ahead and bring up the answer for the first combatant / dog. We have those, right?
Gotcha.
Sam's
Hopefully.
not here, so I hope we have those.
I don't know.
K9.
Oop. Rough.
Oh.
I can make a pro Scooby argument and a pro Courage argument just off the top of my head.
I swear. Wait. Hey, Cody, can you chime in? Do we have these?
Oh,
Thank
yeah, there we go.
All right. Oh man, I think that was Cody just trolling us. All right. Speaking of trolling, or I guess tolling, Martin Tolberg says Courage has tanked much worse punishment, like against Mecha Courage. Also, he is smarter of the two dogs. Not only that, he does have some Toon Force abilities, like the time he stitched up a part of the sky.
Or the time that he yelled so loud that the sun broke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Great.
Or was the moon?
Um,
Some celestial
Yeah, that's the
body.
thing. Is like Scooby's like bumbling, right? Whereas like Courage is like clearly the smartest person in that house. Like
Yeah.
he is constantly just
Low
saving
bar.
Eustace and Muriel. Like
And unlike Scooby, he probably, I think Scooby doesn't know, but he knows how to use like technology and computers and look up answers to how to, just
also
outsmart his
fights-
opponents.
Way scarier shit. Just want to put that out there. That, like Scooby deals with
Yeah.
dudes in costumes. Courage deals with these horrific Lovecraftian psycho
Monsters.
murderers.
That's not
Yeah.
true.
Oh, yeah.
He did,
Well, what
he
the
did
fuck?
deal
Go
with
ahead.
zombies. He did
It's true.
deal
They
with
were real
zombies.
zombies.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and bring up the
damn
answer
it!
for
Now
Scooby-Doo.
terror time's stuck in my head. All right.
Yeah.
Scott Blanchard says
That's-
love Courage, but Scoob just hasn't beat. Scooby canonically has a ton of different powers and abilities. There's an entire show about him and Shaggy as superheroes with mechs. He also learned how to breathe fire from Gene Simmons. I'm not kidding. It's in the Kiss crossover.
It's apparently really good. That crossover is really good. There is also a feat where Scooby and Shaggy did this dance. I forget what it's called, but they did this like ballerina dance where they spun so fast it created this light that filled the universe, and the universe broke.
What?
What?
Yeah,
Wait,
that
what is this
happens.
from?
Yeah. You can type in like universe level Scooby Doo into YouTube, and you'll find the feed.
Is this in like an Archie Scooby Doo or something?
I don't know what context there is. I don't know if it's a technique that only Scooby can accomplish with Shaggy. Therefore, maybe he's not that powerful on his own. I don't
Like
know.
the Fusion dance?
But yeah, like literally, it's kind of like a fusion dance thing. But like it like zooms out to like this like snow globe with the universe on it. It says the universe, and like an alien is holding it, and then it breaks, and the alien starts crying. But then it goes back into the universe, and it's like they're there. So it's very weird. But yeah, potential universe level Scooby Doo.
What?
Scooby Doo versus Alien X. Here we go.
What is this from? Does anybody in the chat know what this is from? Because like I've never heard of this.
I haven't either. But also,
This is
like, the other thing
hilarious.
you got to keep in mind is like Scooby-Doo has learned from like Batman, the Wonder Twins, the Harlem Globetrotters. Like Scooby has
experience
got
with
like
gas.
he crosses over with fucking everybody, man. Like he's definitely picked up some things here and there.
Oh my god.
I would love to do this episode.
That would be so much
Voice
fun.
your support if you want Liam to write versus Courage.
Oh my god. Okay. Wow. All right. Well, okay. So
We could probably do some legit stuff with Scooby too, thanks to our being a part of the Warner Media family.
wonder if they'd be on board with that.
That's true.
Hey, we're gonna explore Scooby-Doo as a universal breaking being. I mean, what's up,
Give us all
Warner
you
Bros?
got.
You want to do it?
That would be hilarious.
Okay, so I don't, without knowing the full context of the like universe breaking thing, and I'm after a very quick Google search, I wasn't able to like find anything. I might be able to find something after this. I'm gonna lean towards Courage for my vote, just because I think he has more examples of breaking reality. Basically, of course, we got this matchup with Sonic
not only
versus
that,
Flash.
but he has dealt with so many other things, so many other crazy creatures, monsters, and like aliens and everything you can think of. Well,
He has
you know,
more experience with legitimate danger.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that, but I'm gonna go with Scoob just because working on the show for so long has taught me that the character with a ludicrous amount of history that has also been like crossed over with everything. We're gonna find some shit. Even just hearing the universe stuff, there's probably some other crap that we'll come across that they just did at the time because they thought it was cool or looked interesting. So I'm gonna say Scoob.
Some low-key
That's
multiversal pup named Scooby-Doo feats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was actually the title of the new show, but then they changed it.
All right, Luis, who are you leaning for? Or leaning
Courage.
for? Courage. All right.
Yeah.
Liam, it's up to you.
I'm gonna go Courage. Just based on what I know, I think his average is higher. Scooby, that universe thing might be an outlier. We don't know yet. I don't know the full context. I'm not gonna put my whole weight behind it. I just know that Courage has a lot of Toon Force stuff, so I'm gonna go Courage. Feel some courage.
Why did you slip into an accent?
Oh, there's the poll. Guess what? Courage wins. Some Liam's New York is coming out.
I was doing a little bit. You got to play along. It's the first rule of improv. You say yes.
Great.
All right.
Wonderful.
Yes,
All right. Well, we got to get to. I think it's Achievement Hunter up next. Yeah, it's Achievement Hunter gameplay because we're over time. So quick, we need to set the next community death battle and then get out.
I saw one in the chat. Popeye versus Saitama. Can we do that?
Haven't we done that? We already did that, I think.
Did we?
I'm pretty sure we already did that.
Okay.
We did Saitama versus somebody. I can't remember who it is.
We did
Let's see.
We did
Throwing some stuff
Saitama
out. I
versus
see Harley
Krillin.
Quinn versus Neo. I see Homelander versus Sentry.
We did Saitama versus Krillin, I think.
Yeah, we did Saitama versus.
That's right. Okay, well, then let's do it. Saitama versus who was it?
Popeye the Sailor Man.
Saitama versus Popeye.
Sailor Man.
All right.
God damn
Let's
it.
do it.
All right. Cool.
And if God, we're going from one ridiculous matchup to the other. All right. So Saitama, the One Punch Man himself, versus Popeye the Sailor Man.
Sure.
Oh God. All right.
Why
we'll have enough
not?
time well, we're not going to have next episode. It'll be 2 weeks from now because next week again is RTX, so we'll have a panel on the 17th as opposed to the usual podcast. Again, we have an episode featuring the Boys in the Seven, a 7 battle royale that is coming up also next week on the 17th, and then right after that, just a couple days after that on the 20th, we have the second ever live action death battle with Isma Hawk, Winter Soldier versus Red Hood. Super excited to share these episodes with you guys. We've been having a lot of fun making them, and you know, very interested to see how people react.
Yep.
But it's gonna be fun. Thank you all so much for joining us for a very long and crazy, whatever this was, this insane Q&A. Hopefully, we answered the questions that you wanted. If not, too bad.
Achievement Hunter's coming up next. Sorry. On RTTV. Thank you guys so much. We love you all. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Asta.
La pasta.
Yeah.